Well, greetings everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of MBTV News, otherwise known as Metaworld News, sometimes known as both, but I'll leave that for you not to sort out. This is a program where we bring you the latest news about immersive spaces and online worlds. Online, not strictly just VR or anything like that, but immersive spaces online is what it is. And we also look a little bit at the old hardware and haptics that help you view these things, if sometimes even in helmet land. Right, my name is Mal Burns, and you can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/Mal Burns. That's MALBURNS. In reality, Mal is the first name, Burns is the second name. The bloke sitting next to me, James is his first name, and Atlloud is his second name. Welcome, James.
Oh, thank you, Mal. Here we are again.
But you don't have to do any squashing with him because he's not on Twitter.
That's
I don't
right. Well,
think
I
you
am, but I don't tell people I'm on
You
Twitter.
don't
Heaven
tell.
forbid I tell someone I'm on Twitter. Oofta.
Oh gosh, golly, yeah, the world would go wonky, wouldn't
Good
it?
crumble. And even
Right.
now, I mean, what's Elon going to let us do or not do? I have no idea.
I don't know. Sort of, yeah.
It's
He
Elon's
has an
playground.
he has an elongated task in front of him.
He does. He does. Did you see him carry the kitchen sink into Twitter headquarters?
Yeah, that was quite funny when
It
well,
was.
I
It
didn't
was.
I didn't initially realize what he was doing. I didn't realize
Right. Right.
because of the angle. I thought it was a straight shaped box, but
Ah.
then I realized. Yes, it's a bit funny, but yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to happen?
Well, and that's a colloquialism, right? I don't know if that's in Europe, but everything in the kitchen
Yeah.
sink, right?
No, no, we use it all the
Oh
while.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, good.
No, it's very much with those.
Yep.
Right. Okay. We have another Twitter feed, by the way, twitter.com/MetaWorld News. Again, it's MetaWorld and News squashed together, which has some more specific world-based things. But for the most part, you just need my Twitter feed. And today is the 30th of October already of the year
Already.
2020. No, sorry,
Yeah.
2022. I had to get one bit wrong, didn't I? You never know where we're coming or going in this day and age,
Yeah.
do we?
Right. Right.
And yeah, so these are headlines for the week ending, that, as it were. Um, I'm also showing some various clips here on my desktop. James has a camera. So James, of course, handles all the camera and audio here. We call it knob fiddling, but don't want to be rude. Right. James can probably actually show you the screen now. First off, another reminder that the Open Simulator Community Conference happens in the second week, in a weekend rather, in December. So you can look up OCC and follow that. We'll probably have a bit more later.
Yeah, and the
Um,
proposal deadline was extended. I don't know how, but that might be helpful for people too. We're quickly sorting them, but
yeah, yeah, I think there's a few more days of extended
yeah, yeah.
stuff, so we will see. Yeah. Okay, coming up this week, Web 3D Conference 27th. It's happening in Paris and online on the 2nd. Is that Tuesday and Wednesday or Thursday or Wednesday? I forget which anyway. But Neil Trevor, the president of Kronos, will be giving an update on Kronos itself, but also the Metaverse Standards Forum too. Um, it's free to attend, by the way, online. You can go to web3d.siggraph.org to register for that. Right, what else have I got? Also coming up at the same time is the Global XR Conference. They've been tweeting like 1,000 variations of this slide, actually, each announcing all the people who are going to be talking, giving keynotes, etc. I can't show you all of them. That would make a whole show, slideshow. So basically, globalxrconference.com is the address you need to go to online. And this one too, I know as far as going online is concerned, is absolutely free. Last week saw the Economist Impact Conference, which was looking at virtual worlds and things. This was, well, I recognise Philip Rosedale there. I'm not. Oh, I should know who these two are. I think that's Joanna Watson. Well, anyway, it's a stage pick, that one, so not much you can say about it. This was another picture. Damn it! What the hell happened there? It didn't want to show that, did it? Oh, Oh, there we are. Okay. Um, oh, yeah. Yeah, an interesting slide one that somebody had up there. Alvin Graylin. Metaverse is a new name for VR, XR, blah, blah, blah.
Mm,
Um,
mm.
we're in a bit of a rush today, so I can't really. I should really leave that on screen for about a minute so you can read it all. But we might show that again at another point where it's relevant. An old cartoon, this is. Of Marvel comics, I suppose. Isn't that the Submariner saying, "Do not toot it," and then the fool says, "Toot, fool! Doctor Doom toots as he pleases." Well, if you don't know what that, if you don't know what that's about, or the reference rather, this has to do with Elon Musk taking over Twitter. It's been long been people have long been claiming Mastodon, which is where I keep our videos, of course. Is the successor or the open, the safe open sim, sorry, open source network for alternative for Twitter basically. So everybody now what's his name has moved in. Everybody's saying, "Oh, I'm going to leave Twitter and go to Mastodon." And of course, when you press a button, in Twitter, you sort of Twitter it, but in Mastodon, you toot it. So that's where toot comes from. Just in case you didn't know, and some of the Mastodon client, for example, is called, one of them is called Tutor, as in Twitter, but Tutor.
Funny.
Anyway, just thought we'd have that one up. Nothing to do with what we normally do, but this lovely lady Greta Thunberg, or however I'm meant to
Thornburg.
pronounce it.
Yep.
I love the fact that her book cover matches her shirt a bit. She's got her new book out, just called The Climate Book, and yeah. Worthy stuff, worthy stuff. I think I've got a video clip of that too, but not so. Somebody else, oddly enough, he's rather new to us, or he's an old hat really. But this is, I don't think it's an avatar so much as he's renowned for. This is our British Prime Minister, the new one, the latest one, this week's variety, and he's known for playing games. A gamer, being a gamer on the side. I don't think he'll have much time for that at the moment. This, I don't think it's an avatar from one of the games he's in. It would be too much a giveaway if it was, actually. I think somebody's actually made a portrait of him as an avatar with a sort of somewhat realistic.
It actually looks
something.
like an action figure, a doll.
It does a bit, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's to do with the hair looks
Yeah.
waxworky and
Yeah.
the uniforms. Yeah. I don't know. I thought we'd show it. Oh God, what happens when you click things and they don't come? There we are. Oh, that's Tony Parisi with Cathul. I can't remember her second name. Anyway, they would have been at the GameSpeak conference last week, and you can see from his badge where he is, in fact. Yeah, I think Eva Henning was there too. We might hear a bit from that, not on this show, but another time. How many clicks does it take to get a thing up here? Right. This is part of Neil Trevor's talk at the same conference about interoperable characters, but yeah, that's actually not used to you without the rest of the document. And finally, one here is there's a site called Metaverse.
Oh, yeah.
They do these sort of charts every now and again, and this is their chart of the Metaverse universe for this quarter, which we've really only just begun, but with browser-based virtual worlds divided into older users, kids, and they don't actually say it, but the bit in the middle is Middle Ages. God for those days to come back, eh? Right. Okay. So there we go. Fine. So let's move on from that. I also have some clips here. Oh, it's not very good at showing thumbnails today, is it? So I've got a slightly different thing here, but okay, there's the names too. Okay. I like this. This is an advert for a world called
Gathering online has been unremarkable, but the future is now here. Welcome to Nowhere, a place where you can be truly present in video chat with the fun and adventure of gaming. Be more present with friends and family, more aligned with your team, more connected with fans. and make new friends.
Find a Mountain View, California.
Meet in the metaverse in seconds. No download, no headset. Just 2 clicks to join a team meeting.
It's made to be an app. And then you get responses.
Or network above the Alps. Laugh with top comics. Live stream to thousands. Explore music festivals. Sell your merch or drop your NFTs. Select from inspiring spaces from amphitheaters or art galleries to social clubs and intimate spaces. Customize them to suit your needs or even build your own. Depart flat Earth. Go nowhere.
Well, yeah, another new platform there, flashy presentation. I think I like most about it, I think I've got it in the links later, is the fact they're called Nowhere, which leads to an awful lot of sort of bylines of things. Come to nowhere or go nowhere.
Right, right.
Like that.
Yep.
It might turn out to be a rather clever name they've given themselves, but we'll come to that later. Right, I'm going to flip forward to our web news links at the moment to get them out of the way. And we'll sort the video and stuff later. Right, starting off as we always do with the Scar Ghost, Tony Patillo, and sound effects, maybe, I don't know. There he goes, Tony Patillo, the Scar Ghost, SKARREDGHOST.com. And this is his XR Weekly, which comes out on Mondays, or frequently now Tuesdays. It's a look back for him on the week gone by, which of course for us is not the just finished week, but the week before that. When he wrote it at the beginning of the week, he was just back from Lisbon, where he'd been attending the All Europe thing. And I would mention, I think we've got, yeah. Anyway, you can find this at scarredghost.com, and it's just a roundup. Pico, it's a lot of this is kind of old news, but he always has a good take on it and writes an awful lot about stuff. Just to get it out the way, I'm also going to, we just saw the trailer for Nowhere. Well, this is actually the website you can go to. And the website is youarenowhere.com. URNOWHERE.com. What a great name for a site for nowhere, really. I'm going to end up taking the piss out of this place, aren't I? Right, okay, so youarenowhere.com. Put bookmark it if you want. Right, moving down. Okay. Now, I just mentioned the OR EU thing. We saw Tony Parisi there and the stuff, things. Right. Not going to show you too much of this at the moment. It's this is a video. What actually happened this week was I've got maybe about 50 different videos from your conference, the EU. And it was too finicky to post them all up to Mastodon, which of course is where I normally post that stuff. So these ones actually went direct to Twitter. So if you do follow me at twitter.com, you will be, in the course of this week, you will have seen about 50 links, all of them with AWE as the prefix, ranging from, small stage, size stages, workshops, and the main stage. And you can also go directly to AWE at YouTube, and you'll be able to find the whole lot of them there, basically. So we mentioned that last week, but I just say they normally take a week or so to post them. I didn't realise they were going to post quite so many, but there they are. Right, doing these a bit out of order to get them in. Right, okay, roundups again. This week in XR, this is Charlie Fink's roundup at Forbes.com, FROBES.com, called The Week in XR as Meta Profits Melt. I like that phrase. No offense to Meta, of course, but Meta Melt. Meta's melting. It's got that, it's like Drowning Street, isn't it? It's got ring to it. Anyway, Meta's 50% profit loss has investors on the run, which of course is what happens. They don't just lose money, they suddenly lose all their investors as well. And even the advertisers go running because they don't think they're going to get a bigger audience again. And anyway, that might be. I made a mistake a few weeks ago of ordering something from an advert that came through via Facebook, and of course, I've only just got a notification from the British Post Office that it's just been sent. Now, this is not Amazon. Amazon delivered next day. No, I made a mistake, but there we go. Right, okay, so you'll find this at forbes.com, which is Forbes.com. And yeah, not much more to say about that. It's a roundup. This one is a site called Kitsco.com. I don't know who on earth they are, but they've got an interesting a bit of British news anyway. KITCO.com, and they're making a big thing of the British regulators, which is here, of course, zeroing in on policing the metaverse. And basically, Ofcom, the regulator here, it's been doing this for quite a while, but now we've got, it seems like a lot of stuff that was going through Parliament is now going through at an accelerated rate on the basis we now have a pretty stable government to push it through. Well, that's the story they give us anyway. Yeah, it's an online safety bill is actually the main part of this, but certainly Facebook and this article doesn't specify actually, but you can imagine the list of companies that are likely to be affected by it. Meta and Microsoft are going to be the ones that are really going to be suffering here, and of course the EU has already got Facebook suffering. So yeah, maybe Facebook, also Meta or whatever they are. Well, maybe they'll be reduced to operating in America or something, if they're still there. Anyway, moving on. I posted at medium.com. If you follow me on Twitter, you can actually get the direct links to these articles, because they my notice here just says medium.com, and obviously that will just take you to the front page. So if in doubt finding the links, do go to my site. So yeah, here we are. Metaverse and the Transcendence of Consciousness. Theo, I forget his name, is a very regular Twitter, so he occasionally writes these sort of articles here, and it goes a bit into depth into things, and this is one of those articles that just a good read generally if you're interested in the metaverse, its implications, and all the rest of it. So the Transcendence of Consciousness. Do it now and do it in the metaverse. Well, not with Suki, but somewhere. All right, remove that item. This is opposed to harpersbazaar.com, HARPERSBAZAAR.com. And it's just a nice another roundup article. I mean, it's a women's magazine, Harper's Bazaar as a rule, but it's an article on the women artists shaping the metaverse. Like many people, it's not entirely clear what it thinks the metaverse is, because it goes on about NFTs and all sorts of other things. But the idea is it's telling you what artists are doing in the brave new world online, which for many people is about the closest they can come to defining the metaverse itself. So a load of stuff there, and just an interesting read. So HARPERSBAZAAR.com for that one. We just did that one. Right. As far as I know, the only Voices of VR are up this week. Number 1147, climbing away there. 13 philosophers on the problem of opposites. Grant Maxwell's integration and difference book and archetypical approaches to character. Sometimes Kent manages to go off on such a limb. It's all he knows what he's talking about, but it's sort of this is a 2.5 hour broadcast anyway. You'll find it at voicesofvr.com, VOICESOFVR.com, and you can pick it up on just about every podcast platform by searching for Voices of VR, and you'll be able to find it there. Right, back to Forbes. No, we're not going back to Forbes. We just did it. Sorry about that. Forgot to delete it. Okay, just a couple left now. an official thing for Neil Stephenson's Lamina One. Well, it's not really about them at all. It's about the conference that they've really taken it on their heads to launch next year. You'll find this post at venturebeat.com, venturebeat.com, and February the 8th to the 9th, this is it in fact, and Stevenson himself is speaking. Philip Rosedale speaking here, I know. Oh yes, a few things. John Gator from The Matrix. Kathy Hagel, that's the person who was in the photo with Tony Parisi earlier. Well, a whole load of people too. And the Open Metaverse initiative that I keep an eye on all the while will be there in as a participant, not an actual sponsor. So you find that at venturebeat.com, venturebeat.com. Moving on, this is a site called prospect.org, prospect.org, and oh yes, there's something there. It's just after a big non-displayed picture, I think. Meta's virtual worlds are failing. Maybe Mark Zuckerberg doesn't have that understanding of what people want. And then they say anymore. It's arguable whether he ever did. More matter of luck than anything else, I think, with Facebook. But anyway, quite a long report here. Also discussing, of course, all the scandals, Cambridge Analytica, Facebook papers, and sort of. Have we got a Facebook? Is there a Metagate? Don't think we've had a Metagate.
No,
Not
that I've heard.
To go with Watergate and stuff, isn't it? We've had enough gates. Yeah, well, give us a Metagate. That would be the final word on Meta Places. Right, so then who's been suing them and whatever. And not good news, really, for Meta. I've given up sort of delighting in this. I mean, you know, because there are some benefits to what they've initialized, but they're having real problems now. So prospect.org for that one. And a site called echo.net.au, which is Australia, echo.net.au, and a journalist called Mandy Nolan has a soapbox, and the title of this week's episode was Fear and Loathing in the Metaverse. Oh, poor Mark, look at that. It's just not fair. Someone else has always been in control. Bloody hell, it's him. Yep, it's Zuckerberg in his undies with his gamer helmet on. Nothing is real. And, yeah, well, they've all got their own ideas. As I said, I'm just here to point out interesting reads. echo.net.au, and I'll leave it at that. And I'm afraid my last two links aren't any happier. This is at xrtoday.com, regular read, xrtoday.com. Meta faces restructuring amid Q3 profits and stock losses. The company prepares to weather the storm with, oddly enough, renewed optimism amid its metaverse plans. As you can see, all these people have a slightly different take on things, but what is very clear in all of them is the business end of Facebook or Meta or whatever is crashing. Basically, Meta or the Meta Ventures and headsets and helmets and all that stuff is becoming a money sink, and the income from from Facebook, the wing of Meta that was their original wing, so to speak, is not quite enough to support it anymore. So nobody really knows what's happening. The only thing that has been reported, I think a couple of sites actually had it as the headline, is the number of people who've been laid off at Facebook in the last couple of weeks. Just like Musk has done at Twitter, and successive British Prime Ministers have done to the cabinet here. Yes, I had to find a parallel there somewhere, didn't I? Okay, so that's xrtoday.com, and the final link, Meta's value plunges more than $65 billion amid falling sales and rising costs. Their earnings add to the gloom surrounding big tech, or their Tech anyway, Zoot Tech, I think we'll call it. So this you'll find at arstechnica.com, arstechnica.com. And yeah, I will remove those, and that's it. That is it for this week's. Oh no, it's not. Okay, as I said, I keep a lot of videos coming up in the week over at Mastodon. That's where I go to toot things. Remember I mentioned the tooting business? Well, I press a button and I go toot. And it's just as simple as pressing a button and going tweet. Well, it's not quite as simple, which is why all those or things are at Twitter directly, not here. But there were a few things that got here as usual. This one is a podcast with Amy Lamere, that's her name. Looking at music funding and an inclusive foundation for the metaverse. It's literally speaking, it's about music. It's a sort of
so in this episode,
there she is. Right, it's a Zoom call type podcast there, but it's an hour of talk anyway. Very interesting one at that. Okay, here's our regular one. I got it up here late. I was so taken aback with all sorts of other things going on in the week. This is the VR download. Basically, the headline here, it's been Quest and Pico for several weeks now, but this week is Quest Pro has arrived, finally. James, any thoughts on this episode? I know you quite often watch it. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it was a little bit less of the MetaQuest show, and it was they actually covered quite a few topics before they got into the David Heaney is doing a full review, and in fact the fellow on the left there, Ian, he was actually using a Quest Pro for the program, and so it was interesting that they're getting these hands-on experiences now, and it's very interesting. It's the technology is there's some real promising things, some surprising things that aren't there that were expected, but that's how technology goes, I think. David Heaney, the fellow on the right, is just boy, he's such a knowledgeable fellow.
Yeah, he has his own separate Twitter feed that I've been seeing coming quite a lot lately, but oddly enough, it's not particularly full of anything sort of relevant to that.
It's very tech. It's very tech oriented. Yeah, it's not. It's not about the virtual worlds as much as about the technology to view them.
Yeah.
Yep.
And of course, they're part of a group that does so many other YouTube videos throughout the week, mostly reviews of games and things like that.
Right.
So,
but I do think they have a good view of the metaverse. I mean, they
oh yeah.
Their program is about the metaverse, and it's all inclusive. It's not walled gardens.
Yeah, very true. Right, well, moving down from that, what have we got here? We've got Between Realities. I forget, Ashley Coffey talks about women in XR, VR accessibility and what's happening to your data. So that was, again, that was about, what was it? I've got it down as a day ago, but I think it came out more like 3 days ago. The usual sort of interesting chat, and the regular guys with her, of course. And rather long intros.
Pretty much anywhere you can get a podcast that people know about, we should be there. And if
without discussing where they are, by the look of it. Okay, also near the end of the week, Charlie Fink and Ted Schilowitz do their regular video cast, completely separate from the Forbes thing and the early one in the week they do now. This is the CEO Tyler Gates. Oh, no, sorry. There's two people, of course. Lyron Bentovin, who was the CEO, and Tyler Gates is the chief futurist, both from a company called the Glimpse Group, which I'm not really that familiar at all. And, oh, that picture again. I didn't need to save it separately, did I? I've got it twice as well. That doesn't help. Okay, 3 days ago. Oh, this was one of the sessions from the OR conference, or EU, and the first couple I actually tried to get up here in the normal place, but as you can see, the titles didn't come through or anything else. It doesn't tell me what on earth's going on, so I had to tweet them directly so you knew what they were. And the same here. This was Amy Peck's speech there too. At least this one we can see from the screen what's going on, but yeah. And earlier in the week from there We have the GameSpeed Summit. This one included Tony Parisi, but yeah, it actually includes a whole load of other sort of stuff too. Um, there's a panel of 4 people, and then Tony comes back to be on the same panel there. So it's a Parisi bit, really, if you see what I mean. Right, 5 days ago. Right, I can't remember who published this. Anyway, it's a talk with Philip Rosedale about what's missing from the metaverse. It's reading the rounds at the moment. Philip's actually in Paris at the moment because he will be at the Paris thing I mentioned earlier, early next week, I think Tuesday or Wednesday. So it's really getting to do the rounds of all these things at the moment. I forget exactly what that site was. I can click onto it, I suppose, and see.
From Silicon Valley, the heart of startup land, it's Getting to Alpha, the show about creating innovative, compelling experiences that...
There we are. It's a show called Getting to Alpha. That's what we needed. Okay, I'm going to move on from this. Basically, I'll put that out of the way. We're going to need this for a show coming up shortly. Let me flip back to what we got here. Okay, from what I can see, we're well on time this week. Basically, just a few other videos I've got around, see what they do. I don't know the OR. That was it. Oh, this is a sessions recap from the first day of the OR conference. It really is. It's barely a recap, but it's nice. Ooh! Loud as well. Next off, we have a piece about. I think I showed you that. Did I might have shown you this week, last week, about Interpol entering the metaverse. Oh lordy, now what?
Not sure.
Did I show it last week?
I don't recall.
Oh, my! That was blasting me out here.
Yeah, that was loud. I could tell.
Now I can't hear James because he's whispering.
What?
No, it's okay. I turned the volume down.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, then another brief clip here from Amelia at the All Conference. Where else? Okay, next up, a group called P1 and their big vision. P1 dash OM for Open Metaverse. They actually have a server on Discord. I think this is just a bit of the old vision thing, if I recall, but let's go with it.
I have a big vision that one day the digital world will be as real to people as the physical. I have a dream that one day whole civilizations and cultures will develop in the digital just as they did in the physical. A new reality with huge potential. Digital spaces are already revolutionizing how people connect around the world. Digital workspaces are increasingly popular. Digital schools, homes, and one day virtual civilization will become mainstream. But who will control that world? Will it respect the rights and the freedoms of people? Will it be a world dominated by big corporations? For more than a decade, P1 has been the home of a project to discover the ideal psychology to bring real digital civilization to life. We've been on this train years before the hype arrived, and we are committed to triumphing over the deluge of Ponzi schemes that have recently entered the space. We have nothing to do with this recent movement in NFTs or the big corporations trying to control this world. We are people with our feet firmly planted on the ground, researching what it takes to build real social organization by making real things that real people want to interact with. We are working in the here and now for the benefit of a people-first future. If you choose to join us, I ask that you put away the rose-colored glasses of the metaverse space and roll up your sleeves to work hard on real things that will allow good people to be at the center of a new world.
Very good. Fine statements there, so to speak. Right, what have I got next? Oh, yeah. Metaverse. This is the 26th of the 10th. That was this week, wasn't it?
Yo, it's your boy Jay Dunn.
And it's your girl Joy Rain.
And listen, get them to the Metaverse is happening this Thursday. Y'all already know. But what time should they tune in?
8 o'clock Eastern, that's 7 o'clock Central.
That's right. We got a special guest, Reggie Bejoy from Immerse. He's going to be coming on the podcast. It's going to be insane. We're so excited. You do not want to miss it. Subscribe to Getting Things Done. We will see you this Thursday. Peace.
Well, of course, that was an advert for a couple of legless folk. Never mind. Don't know that particularly would attract me, but there we go. Right, we know that is... Oh, hang on, I'm just checking what we've seen and what we haven't. Right. Oh, yeah. Tech Circus presents Enter the Metaverse. So this is another very brief clip. Oh, okay. You're going to have to hurry. Right. It's funny. This really is the season for conferences and day things where they're online or offline or both. And, I never go out in real life to attend conferences anymore. I mean, 10 years ago, I went to quite a few of the metaverse-based conferences, and got myself invite tickets and stuff like that, but not anymore. And it occurs to me, seeing all this stuff, I'm running it for you guys. I would need my real human would need about a dozen alts to cope with all the conferences on it this month, or rather the October-November period. It would be much better if they just scattered them throughout the year, instead of concentrating them right now. But for as long as I've been alive, it's been the same. I think even long before we had all the online stuff. It's conference season. October, November. So I think we did that one last week, and no, I'm not going to bore you with that. Actually, it's 10 minutes on the world's greatest money sink. But let's face it, we know that, don't we? Right. Okay. Well, believe it or not, we've got to the end of this week's show, which is mind-bogglingly fast. I think we've got it done in about 45 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, that looks
Yeah.
about right. Amazing.
How did we do that? Do we need to do a replay? Did I miss
No, no,
something?
no, no. We're good. We can use the
Yeah,
time.
rather kind of odd, what did we miss kind of thing.
Nope.
Right. Okay. Well, anything else to comment on, James?
No, no. Just the OSCC's is impending, so it's getting
Right.
to be pretty exciting.
Right. Yes, indeed. It's getting very, very, very close indeed.
Yeah.
Some of us have really got to move on that a bit. Right. Okay. Well, we will be returning same time, same place next week. I hope you've enjoyed all the news and everything we brought you. And stay tuned on this channel. It's if you're watching live on my channel or anywhere else for that matter, because we'll be back in about 45 minutes with a completely different show called the In-World Review, where we interview people and look at the arts and destinations inside the OpenSim metaverse and all the many hundreds and thousands of grids that make it up. So we'll see you then as well. But until next week, otherwise, stay safe and don't try and teleport between too many conferences all at the same time, will you? That's the big danger coming up. Yeah. You never knew the interwebs were going to be so dangerous, did we? Right. Okay. It's a wrap. Thank you to James, of course, as well. Thank you, James.
You're welcome.
And see you next week.